folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, I had a pretty cool video made for you because I was recording a video and the ducks came down and kind of actually spooked me in the middle of the video and joined me in the creek. Except I realized at the end of the video that I never pushed the record button. So unfortunately, that one is no longer there, but you can be entertained by the completely insane ducks while I make this video. They're actually probably my favorite animal on the homestead, but they are a little crazy. Got a lot of stuff to cover in the news today. There's a lot of things going on, while on the surface they may not seem to be connected, I believe they very much are connected. And they're connected because they're all signs of the collapse of Western civilization. Some of you are going to roll your eyes at that. And I get occasionally the people that call me the crazy person that keeps saying that. And that's fine. You can go ahead and do that. And it doesn't bother me. You also say that I'm just, fear-mongering. And you can go ahead and say that too. But I'm telling you folks, these things are happening. And we are seeing decades of very poor economic policies, political policies, very poor parenting and social experiments on how the society should be reformed and rebuilt into something new. We're seeing the last couple of decades of this very rapid increase in technology, so rapid that humanity just can't catch up with it. And all of this is being pushed upon us at a really rapid pace, and so I think that humanity just can't adapt to it, and so it's causing so many problems, which is just leading us to a collapse of the Western civilization. And that's why the Great Reset and the Agenda 2030 and Agenda 21 has been created. They know this. Because they're orchestrating it. They want it to collapse so that it can be rebuilt their way to benefit them. And so we're seeing things happen just every day pretty much in the news. That's all part of this. One of the things that we want to talk about here is the heat. And I know I've been complaining about that. It is hot once again, and it's probably going to be like this all summer, the way the long-term weather or the long distance weather is looking here in the Ozarks. It's just hot. It's hot and dry. It's going to be a hot and dry year. The entire United States, well, at least a large portion of the United States is dealing with some level of drought, and a lot of it's dealing with very extreme drought conditions. Folks, this is absolutely affecting us. This is affecting our food supply. There's been countless farmers on the news and to me personally reporting how it's affecting their crops. Some of them just have no crops left. It's affecting the cattle. They're having to either call herds now because of the heat and the lack of water, or they're planning on calling herds because the food prices to feed the cattle have just gone skyrocketed, and they can't afford to feed them all winter long. So this is absolutely affecting us. It's affecting energy. There's more and more places being shut down. Electricity's being turned off. I'm seeing reports all the time of grocery stores, their cooling systems not working, or their refrigeration systems not working. Part of that is because of the heat, and the other part is the supply chain just can't keep up with the parts needed to keep those things running. But the fact is this is affecting us, and it's happening all over the world. There are places it's getting too much rain and it's too cold, but a lot of the places that's in their peak growing season right now is dealing with excessive heat and not a lot of rain. Over in Europe, they're dealing with 100+ temperatures, which is pretty unusual for this time of the year. They don't get that hot, and it's making it real dry. Romania is dealing with a lot of wildfires right now, and here's a video of about a 250-acre field of wheat that's gone up in smoke, and this is happening in other places. So again, this is affecting food. I mean, there's 250 acres of wheat. I know that's not going to affect it greatly, but with the situation that we're in globally, with the whole food supply system just basically, on a knife's edge, another 250 acres out of the equation is affecting us. And so we're going to continue to see this kind of stuff happening. On the war front, it's not looking very good, folks. A lot of Americans have kind of forgotten about it, we're on to different things to watch in the news because the news media isn't talking about it. But Russia is getting ready. Russia parliament has approved wartime economic measures, which basically says that the Russian government can get private businesses to go to work for them. They can, utilize the Russian workforce to build bombs and weapons and other things like that. So, everything is indicating that we are headed down that path of war, and this is going to be very devastating. I'm not going to make any predictions of who's going to win or lose this one, because the reality is there won't be any winner with this kind of world war. It's going to devastate all of us, and it looks like that's what we're building up to. It's just not going to be good, and that's why we need to get prepared for that. Something that just happened moments ago before I started recording this, apparently a gas pipeline down in South Houston, Texas, exploded and is on fire. Now, I don't have a lot of intel on this. I don't know how bad this is. I don't know what kind of pipeline, other than I believe it was natural gas. It's what it looks like from the flames. The intel that I got said that no one was injured from this, and I don't know how big of a deal this is. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it's a small pipeline, could be a major one. So I don't know how greatly it's going to affect the energy systems and the flow of gas around the country. But this kind of stuff's just happening an awful lot. A lot of explosions and derailments and food plants and all kinds of stuff happening, which is all just part of this collapse. People are just fed up. It's happening everywhere, and it's happening a lot in Europe right now. I said the other day how the Netherlands, they're pushing back. They're pushing back from these ridiculous policies. I've also said how Europe is just a little ahead of us on most things, especially these social and Marxist type policies. And that's exactly what we're seeing in Europe. They have enacted some of these zero carbon policies, these Paris Accord agreements, which basically reduces the amount of pollutants farming can use and truck driving and all that kind of stuff. And it's putting a lot of people out of business. They can't farm, they can't keep their businesses going because of these restrictions. And the people are pushing back. In the Netherlands, it's estimated somewhere around 40,000 truckers and farmers are protesting in the country, and they've shut the country down in a lot of ways. They've shut down roadways, access to warehouses and stores and bridges and all kinds of stuff. Kind of the same kind of thing we saw in Canada, but maybe even a bigger deal, because it just looks like there's a lot of it going on. And there's video of these farmers using their equipment, their tractors, to actually push and move military and police equipment out of the way that's trying to stop them. And there have been reports of police firing upon some of these farmers, but I can't verify that that's actually happening. And it's happening in other places. Germany is involved in this. German farmers are protesting. Italian farmers are protesting. Polish farmers are protesting, and other people against all these policies. This is something that they're pushing against, and the whole Netherlands thing is a pretty big deal, because the Netherlands is the second largest global exporter of agricultural food, and so that's going to affect the entire food supply. Doesn't necessarily matter how much food we necessarily get from them, and I can't tell you that answer right now. The fact is that they do export a lot of food, and so we're seeing this happen all over Europe. We're seeing it. We saw what happened down in Sri Lanka. It started off kind of the same way. People were protesting fuel prices, and because they were protesting fuel prices and there were more and more fuel shortages, the country is now pretty much in complete shambles. I mean, it is nearly anarchy in Sri Lanka. And so the very real possibility that this kind of stuff could make it to American shores, I think is quite possible, and that's why we have to get prepared. We are dealing with extremely unstable times, folks. We're dealing with people that all over the world, that they're fed up. They're at their wits' end. They've dealt with lockdowns. They've dealt with inflation. They're dealing with shortages, and they're not going to take it anymore. And now as more people are starting to protest in these places, it is having effects on the economies around them. Here's a video of a grocery store somewhere in the Netherlands, because these farmers and truck drivers are protesting. Look at the shelves of this grocery store here in the Netherlands. Now, the Netherlands, it's It's a modern country, and they should be able to, and they're a huge agriculture. I just said that. That's basically their main industry is agriculture. Why are their shelves so bare? Is there a possibility that this could happen here in the United States? I think very likely it could happen. And we're just not quite there yet because we're a little behind Europe, like always. This is why we have to get ourselves ready, folks. I don't want to get on here and make it sound like the sky is falling all the time, but I think there's definitely a lot of cracks in the sky. And so we're getting closer to that point. And I'm not trying to terrify everyone to think that tomorrow is the last day, it's going to end tomorrow. What I'm trying to do is let you know how things are transpiring, the direction that we are headed as a nation and as a society, so that you can get yourself ready, so that you can become more prepared for it, whether it's physical preparedness, psychological preparedness, spiritual preparedness, whatever it is. You need to get yourselves ready because the handwriting's on the wall. It's happening everywhere, folks. Wars brewing, famines everywhere. It is happening on a very grand scale all over the world. And I'm only touching on just a few things in this video. I mean, there are many other things. There's all kind of energy problems here in the States, over in Europe. There's stuff going on with China and the United States. Joe Biden's apparently giving away our oil to China now. I mean, we're dealing with all these ridiculous high prices. And apparently they're taking our oil that you and I paid for in the strategic oil reserves, and they're shipping it to China. They're letting them have it. This is all an orchestrated collapse. I believe that they want this. They want this, like I said, so that they can impose their new order. And this is why you need to get yourself prepared, folks. Get your houses in order. Prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.